10 minutes to 8 p.m. Welcome back. Time for the sports segment, and we're discussing football. Tonight we speak to football journalist Delmain Faver. We're talking about the EPL fixtures this weekend, as well as the Soweto Derby. If you are Orlando Pirates or a Amakosi fan, you don't want to miss this as well. Send through your comments on our WhatsApp line on 061 766 0355. And if you've just tuned into the show, welcome. I'm your host, and I'll be with you for the next hour and 10 minutes or so, inshallah. It's now time to obviously welcome our football journalist, Delmain Faver, who's a correspondent to the program. Delmain, good evening. Welcome to the program once again.
Thank you so much, Sarfaraaz. Always a pleasure to be with you guys. Always nice to speak football and sport in general.
No, great stuff. Thanks for obviously taking the time. Hoping you had a good week, man. Jam-packed week of football in terms of obviously the Europa League. There was Champions League. But the focus we're focusing on, obviously, the massive one is the Soweto Derby. Now, obviously, Kevin Hunt has obviously said that, they got injuries and they're sitting with 4 players also who are not going to be available in the squad as well. I want to know, what are some of your thoughts in terms of obviously Lebogang Manyama, Itumeleng, Leonardo Castro, and Kama Biliat. Obviously, they're not going to be offering their services for this, and they're 4 key players. Okay, we're just trying to get our correspondent back on. We'll be back in a moment. Yeah, so the Soweto Derby is obviously taking place this weekend. We want to know, what are your thoughts? Send through your comments on the WhatsApp line, or you can comment below as well. Now, 4 key players are not going to be available and offering their services. And we're trying to obviously get Delmain obviously to discuss that with us as well. Also, the EPL this weekend, big match coming up obviously Sunday, West Ham and Arsenal. Fulham and Leeds obviously are playing tonight, and obviously tomorrow Brighton, Newcastle, and then Aston Villa take on Tottenham. And we're going to be speaking to Delmain in a moment or so. We're just trying to get him back on. Okay, we're going to get Delmain back on. And yes, Delmain, hoping you can hear us now. We had a bit of a freeze there. Network problems really giving us the uphill tonight.
Yeah, okay. We know we're definitely getting a technological runaround.
No, clearly, man. And we do apologize to the viewers and listeners as well. Now, obviously, we're unpacking a jam-packed weekend of football. And I was highlighting the Soweto Derby mainly. Obviously, Kevin Hunt confirmed that obviously he'll be without services of 4 key players. I mean, we're talking about Lebogang Manyama, Leonardo Castro, Itumeleng Kune, Kama Biliat. So what do you make of obviously, this weekend Soweto Derby, and obviously not having these 4 key players as well?
Yeah, very interesting derby lined up. I think because of what's at stake, if you look at it, it's the 100th edition of the Soweto Derby since its inception way back in 1970. So there's a lot riding on it, especially with Kaizer Chiefs having lost 3 of the last 3 derbies. And I think if you look at it in aggregate, the score currently 7-1. So you can imagine that Kaizer Chiefs would want to go all out for this one, redeem themselves, if you want to call it that. And they'll be without some of the key players, but I think that there's enough firepower in that Chiefs squad to supplement the losses. Obviously, they've been without Kama Biliat for a while. He's been injured. Kune, unfortunately, not back in time. He had to attend the funeral, and there's certain COVID protocols that he has to undergo. Same thing with Castro. He's been in and out of a squad, and then Manyama obviously suspended. I think he will be the one big loss. Definitely, I think they'll miss him. Often when he's not in the squad, you almost struggle to see where a Kaizer Chiefs goal could come from. often he's their bright spark and that link between the attack and the midfield. So he'll definitely be a great loss. But this is one of those Soweto derbies. If ever there was one that I'm really looking forward to, this is one of them.
Clearly, I can tell your money is on Kaizer Chiefs for this one. Obviously, but let's look at obviously the Sea Robbers, Orlando Pirates, and their lineup coming into the match. I mean, Delmain, Lorch, etc. What do you make of obviously their tech for this and their prep for this weekend's derby? And obviously, it's a massive one, the 100th derby, the 100th Soweto Derby.
Yeah, 100%. No, if you ask me who my money is on, I definitely say my money is on the Sea Robbers. Why I say that is because 11 in the last 11 games, won 9, drew 2, undefeated. That's an impressive. If you look at they come, if they come off an impressive win over Nigeria's Enyimba, who if you know anything about continental football, you know that these are no pushovers. I think they're second in the Nigerian league. For Pirates to come and beat them the way they did it says a lot about that team. And like you mentioned, so many key absentees for them. Lorch, one of them, Richard Ofori. But what it does is, if you look at it, Sarfaraaz, for so long, Pirates have been playing without a striker, and yet the results have still been coming. So now I think them having strikers back, sure, they'll miss the likes of Lorch and Ofori, but what happens is that it gives an opportunity to someone like Siyabonga Mpunchane, who was for much of the season the third choice goalkeeper. And if you look at the last 3 games, he's come in, I think 2 clean sheets. He conceded 1, and that was the one against Enyimba, but they haven't lost with him in the side. So it just shows you that regardless of who's out of the team, they often have the ability for any other player to come in and come and fill that gap seamlessly. So I think that this is definitely one. Sorry about that. Pirates could have a huge advantage over their counterparts when it comes to this match.
Talking about player replacements, this just goes to show the amount of depth that the squad has. And Joseph Zimbauer obviously trying and desperately, obviously, because obviously to have Delmain Lorch fit, but obviously they've had to have replacements, and this shows the squad depth that they have as opposed to the other teams. And you were talking about form. This just shows exactly why.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at the last match, Delmain Lorch wasn't there. But then someone like Linda Mtambo steps up, and then he's pivotal in them creating that first goal against Enyimba. Even in the other matches, whenever they've missed a player, someone has come in, put their hand up and said that we are more than capable and we are more than ready of replacing any player that goes out of a team. And like you said, it speaks to their squad depth. I mean, they went out on a shopping spree at the start of the season, and I think that's yielding results for them. They've won 1 trophy already. They're second in the log. They could close the gap on Mamelodi Sundowns if they win on Sunday. So I'm very impressed by what I've seen from this Pirates team.
Well, I mean, and you were talking about obviously Mamelodi Sundowns. Now we obviously know that they were obviously dominating, the domestic league, for a number of seasons. However, we've seen a new Orlando Pirates. This reminds me of, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, that same consistent team they had, that force, that depth, and that's obviously it. What's your score prediction for the Soweto Derby, though?
I just lost you for a second.
I was saying, what's your score prediction for the Soweto Derby?
Soweto Derby 2-1 in favor of Orlando Pirates, definitely.
Orlando Pirates 2-1. Well, I'll go with maybe a 2-0 to Pirates because this is how we do it. Yeah, Bakas, I'm a Bucks. There we go. Now, let's talk quickly about the EPL. It's been a busy week. I mean, obviously, Europa League, Champions League, time doesn't avail for us to go into that. But obviously, the EPL games this weekend, West Ham taking on Arsenal. We've got Tottenham taking on Aston Villa tonight. Fulham and Leeds go head-to-head. What are some of your score predictions and your thoughts on this weekend's fixtures?
Some very interesting fixtures. A lot of opportunity for some of the teams to bounce back. If you look at a team like Tottenham, I mean, their disappointing result midweek, they definitely want to redeem themselves. Arsenal potential banana peel against West Ham. we know that Arsenal have a tendency of doing well in certain games, but then
They're
disappearing
under
in
pressure.
others.
Yeah.
Exactly. And against a Jesse Lingard inspired West Ham, they could definitely be in for a surprise. Even tonight's game, I expect it to be one of the more exciting games. It's often a fixture that serves up a lot of goals. I won't be surprised if you see a 3-2 or 4-2 scoreline there. And the good thing about it is that it could go either way. You could find leads on the night. They play the enterprising football that we've come to know
Yeah.
under Marcelo Bielsa.
What a
And
great coach.
exactly. I think we've run out of superlatives to describe how passionate he is about football, the type of football he tries to instill. Like I'm saying, the only problem with them is that they consistently inconsistent, and you never know which leads could show up on the day. So it will be very interesting to see those matches, see what it is that the teams come up with, and then I don't know, probably just solidify the safety on the log standings.
Well, it kind of reminds me about form about Liverpool, for the Merseysiders, and obviously being a United fan, I say this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's where we leave it, my brother. I hope you have an awesome weekend. We thank you for your time. And until we chat again, take care, my man.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Cheers. That's football journalist Delmain Faver, and we were talking about the EPL fixtures for the weekend as well as the Soweto Derby. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping you are as well. It is now 8 p.m. on the dot. We'll be back after this.